Good morning, and welcome to Wednesday in Philadelphia. All right, so we're getting close to Christmas, we're getting close to Hanukkah, and of course, we're getting closer to the Super Bowl. It's a great Eagles season. Now, a quiet night last night in the world of sports. Flyers back at it tonight. But a quiet night last week gives us a chance to
calling the night the NBA Cup is handed out a quiet night.
Yeah, James, are you kidding me?
Of course I'm kidding.
Oh, man.
You're kidding me. All right, so look, let's get to it. 215-592-9494. We'll do a lot on the Eagles. Also the Phils. Want to mix in the Phils a little bit more today. All of it with you today at 215-592-9494. Richard Rich.
Hello, Joe.
Hello there, Johnny. Why do you say that like you're...
Newman. It's like the Seinfeld Newman. It's like Newman.
Yeah, I hear more like Hannibal Lecter at one point with Clarice.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounded lecturian.
I'm just telling you, it's a little weird, but hello.
Hello, Joe.
I can see it a little bit there. I get it.
Put the lotion in the best.
Well, I wasn't saying Buff Bill. I was saying,
I'm just
jumping around.
Lecter.
Yeah, jumping around to some different voices there.
Different serial killers,
Yeah, City Montessori School in Lucknow, India. It holds the Guinness World Record for the largest school student enrollment.
All right, let me take a guess. India, you said?
Yeah.
I'll say 101,000.
Holy cow.
101?
That's the worst. That's bad. Now I feel bad.
Well, Penn State's got like 40,000.
That's a college, though.
Well, it's a school.
He's talking about a school.
Well, I don't know. College is a school.
I guess. That's
fair.
College.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
This is like
primary
for
or
kids.
Go ahead.
These are children. 55,547.
Okay.
That's a lot. That's insane.
It doesn't feel as insane anymore now
Joe
that Joe
ruined
said
it.
that.
No, but that's a lot.
It's insane.
It doesn't feel that insane.
All right. Well, I blew the facts. Sorry. Let me
How
tell
long
you.
are those parent-teacher conferences going
Oh,
to take?
boy, you're not kidding.
Wow,
All right, let me
I
tell you
know.
who's not blowing it. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. They are soaring. And look, today, 215-592-9494, because we've talked about so many aspects of this team, and there's so many elements of greatness. But, it's a day for positivity. I mean, last week there was a lot of consternation. Okay, obviously, AJ and Brandon and everything that got said. And, obviously the prior game hadn't been the most explosive offensively. I'm talking 2 games ago. But we should never lose sight of the fact that at 12-2 and with a 10-game winning streak, we are seeing extraordinary things. I mean, really some beautiful football. And today at 215, extraordinary. Today at 215-592-9494, I want to drill down on what aspects of this football team do you think have gone under-discussed and are underrated on the path to this team's greatness? Because we talk so much about so many things, but I am certain there are elements that we don't get into enough.
Man, glaring at the
talk
top.
to me, John.
This
Talk to
really does. Great question, and it is in neon lights and flashing. This team is so tough. This team sits atop the NFL in toughness, and we continue to prove it. Think about the fact that we just out-toughed the AFC North. We just took it to all those, the Cincinnati Bengals. They're down this year, but a team like the Baltimore Ravens,
Baltimore and Pittsburgh,
with their rushing attack, and then a couple weeks after that, the Pittsburgh Steelers, to do that the way that we did it, and it was just punching them in the mouth in both games. That says a lot. That sends a message. And I love that these guys have attitude. I love the spirit. I love the hitting. I love the toughness displayed with regularity. I think it's encapsulated for me in one player. He's like the personification of this go stick your face in there thing. CJGJ.
Oh, CJGJ. Yeah.
CJGJ for me is, man, he's almost like the guy that the defense must look to. You can hear him before you see him at times, but he's flying around, and he will tattoo you if you stand still and let him.
And he'll tell you about it.
Yeah, and I love that. And that's what
aspect.
you need. That's what a great defense needs. So that kind of swagger is certainly helping us. But the last game against the Steelers, these guys refused to come off the field. That's a really cool factor about this team. Quinyon, 100% of the plays defensively. Zach Bond, 100% of the plays defensively. Reed, 100%. CJGJ, 100%. Nolan Smith, 95%. as an edge guy. Nakobe Dean, 93%. Jalen Carter, 91% of the plays. Now, that's easier to do when you only have 43 plays because your defense takes care of business and gets off the field. If that number balloons, like our offense against the Steelers ran 80 plays. If our defense puts themselves in a position where they have to run
that'd be tough.
70, how are these young guys going to hold up? Are they going to be able to continue to hit people and intimidate people? That's going to be the real test. So the youth and inexperience, I do worry a little bit that that'll create some issues somewhere, but I love the way that we out-physicaled the most physical teams in the NFL. It is something. And that's our identity.
No, I agree.
And people are afraid to play us.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that is a huge chunk of their identity, physical toughness, and Sirianni talks quite a bit about it. James, something about this football team, a little underrated, under-discussed. What hit you?
Yeah, and it's shocking it's under-discussed because last season, the offseason, we discussed this ad nauseum. One of the things we talked about the most, and it's a part of Jalen's development that we never talk about. We talk about the way he throws the ball, the way he runs the offense. Have we talked about the blitz all year?
Yeah.
Like all year. It was the focal point of the second half of last season. If they can't fix this, they've been awesome at it. And Jalen has done a fantastic job of steering the offense from that perspective.
Yeah.
First time ever doing it in the NFL. Think about how much we talked about
Kelsey.
it. Exactly.
And that element of it.
And we have had, there's blitzes, zero issues this season with it.
No, that's a great answer. Look, we're looking for answers today on elements of this football team because, look, it's a day to celebrate, and it's a month to celebrate Eagles football. I mean, what they're putting out there is special. I mean, we may never see a 10-game winning streak again. We might not. You know, I mean, you listen, think of it this way, guys. They've been around for 90 years, and we've never seen one before. So 10-game winning streak, let's celebrate and talk about the aspects of the team, a little underrated, under-discussed. 215-592-9494. Devin, what hits you on this football team and what maybe hasn't gotten enough discussion?
Kind of goes into John's answer of CJGJ, but just the edge that this defense is playing with. And one guy in particular, Jalen Carter. So there was that moment on the sideline in the Steelers game where you can kind of see him fired up. It was after he made a bad mistake. He kind of got a little too fired up and hit a guy in the helmet, and Nick Sirianni's kind of being held back, and then they embraced. But I think it's just that fire that the defense was completely lacking last season, and the fact that they're playing with this chip on their shoulder. And I don't want to say it's a good thing to be angry, but we saw
in football it is.
It is with Darius Slay in the Steelers game. The entire defense rushed to his defense to kind of have his back, and it ended up in a little scuffle between the two teams. But to me, that just shows that these guys have each other's back and they're playing with an edge, and I think that goes a really long way.
Especially compared to last year with the Niners
big
thing.
Time.
Yeah.
Big time. Who was the other safety last year? Was it Byard?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a joke. I saw that guy in a game the other day, and I'm like, this guy's still in the league. This guy stunk. And that Shaq Leonard guy stunk. They all stunk. Rhea, what hits you on something maybe under the radar this year?
It was a little underlined. James kind of mentioned it, but, I think one of the other things we all worried about is how are they going to be able to replace a Hall of Famer in Jason Kelsey?
Yep.
We rarely talk about Cam Jurgens.
You're right.
I mean, that offensive line is still continuing to operate at a huge level. BG goes down. Defense is just rolling. I mean, it's Cam Jurgens. It's the place. The coaching that this team is getting, and not just from the OC. The position coaches, I think we're probably going to lose a lot of those.
Good.
Because they've been tremendous.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of ways to go here on a day to celebrate Eagles football. Midweek, obviously, 1 week to Christmas, and your sense of the greatness of this squad and what has perhaps been a little under-discussed and, frankly, perhaps underrated with our conversation here, 215-592-9494. I mean, I'll give you one in 5 words. The pass rush has delivered. I mean, what the hell? Like, you look at the parts, and they weren't supposed to deliver. I mean, I guess Josh Sweat was supposed to be the best of them, but he finished last year lame. He started this year lame. But this guy's come on like a freight train. Nolan Smith came out of nowhere from being an utter non-factor, and frankly, someone that, as recently as about 2 months ago, I think most Eagles fans would say pretty much bust category. Like, pretty much bust. Because he's a first-round pick. Isn't a third-round pick guy. First-round pick. So, he has picked it up big time. Obviously, Brandon Graham did fantastic in the games he was in there, which was the bulk of the season, but he's missed, I think, 2 of them now, and they haven't missed a beat. They got nothing out of Jalix Hunt. He's been out and injured, and it's like that hasn't mattered, seemingly.
Bryce Huff.
I'm sorry. Bryce Huff.
Yeah.
Bryce Huff. I'm sorry, wrong guy. Bryce Huff. Correct. Thank you.
Jalix is actually
Jalix Hunt
giving them something.
Yeah, Jalix Hunt has stepped in there and given them a little something. I mean, they're only playing with 3 dudes up there. I mean, for the most part, it's Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, and Jalix Hunt. So that's an unusual rotation. Now they got to look here. They got 2 major advantages for the guys outside. They do have 2, we should say. One is Jalen Carter inside Rex games. So that gives you a tremendous advantage. Don't think when Aaron Donald or J.J. Watt were doing their thing inside that it didn't help guys on the outside.
No, Milton Williams is having a tremendous season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the cornerback play has been great. So
Vic schemed it great too.
And Vic's, you're right. So you're going to have certain advantages that make the edge rushers probably look a little better than they are. But here's the thing. Here's my point. I came into the season, and as recently as 2 months ago, and had a real concern about it. Guys, they have the number 1 defense in pro football. You can't have that without a pass rush that's doing its job.
It's wild.
It's incredible. All right, 215-592-9494. Your sense of this football team, the greatness they put out there. What has been a little underrated, under-discussed? We'll celebrate the birds today and rock your calls. 215-592-9494. We'll also get into an aspect of the Phillies all season we got to tackle. We'll do that, your phone calls, and all these topics. Joe DeCamera and John Ritchie. It's 94 WIP.